Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. A big massive happy new year to you all. I can't believe we are in a new year, we're in 2023. Where did last year go? I just feel like the last few months flew by. But yeah, we're in a new year, so this video is just going to be all about 2023's reading goals, reading plans, and my goals and plans for life in general and for my YouTube channel and all of that. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video and go through all of that. So we're going to have a little bit of a chit chat about my reading goals, my plans and all of that, so grab yourself a coffee and get comfortable. But stay, because I will be doing a book haul at the end with all of the books that I was gifted or books that I bought with the money I got given, and there's some good books there, so if you're not in the mood for the chatty bit, just stay to watch the book haul. But yeah, in regards to life goals, I tend to not really do life goals, purely because I hate looking back at it and be like, I didn't even tick like one sort of goal, and I hate the feeling of that. Whereas I would do reading goals, and you know, even if I don't complete all of them, I managed to do at least one or two and I don't feel so bad. But when it's like life in general, that's just, for me, I'm very much like, I don't know what's going to happen in my life. I'm not someone who like plans things like that, and I just don't like saying I want to do this and that, and you know, I don't know what's going to happen in my life to whether I can do it or not, so I just don't like doing it. So I tend to do reading goals, and like sort of there might be a few little life goals that I know I can do because of what I'm doing or whatever, but we primarily have like more goals for like reading, and then it's just plans for everything else. But let's just get into the reading goals itself. So first things first, I want to read 40 books this year. Now I do read a lot. Last year I read 166 books, and my reading goal was 150. The year before that, my reading goal was 100, and I was like 200 or something. I could, like, you know, do this year and do 160 or like maybe 170 something, but I am starting uni in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, do you know what? I do not want to do myself such a big goal, and I might not be able to complete that goal because my primary stuff now is going to be uni, and my reading is going to be, you know, when I have the time, and it's like, you know, more like a hobby than, oh, I need to do this and that. So I want to read 40 books because by Storygraph it should say if I read one book each week, I will be on target. Have I read one book each week since I started? No, I haven't even finished one book yet. I literally am so behind in my reading because I've just not been in the mood. So by what Storygraph tells me, I'm already behind, but I don't care because, you know, I'm just getting things prepared for uni and stuff. But yeah, 40 is the goal. I'm not gonna lie. By the halfway point, if I haven't even reached anywhere near it, I am going to change it. I will change it down to like 30, maybe 25, depending on like how much time I have. But at the moment it's 40. It might get changed down, but yeah, we'll see. But I think 40 is good. From what Storygraphs tells me, I can do it. Just at the moment I am already behind because it's taken me forever to decide what book I want to read, and then I've just been doing other things rather than reading. But it's fine, it's fine. It's meant to be a hobby and fun rather than something that's pressure. So another like reading goal, sort of, not goal, but sort of something I want to do is basically not feel guilty in DNFing. I had this goal for last year and I was doing quite well with it, and I want to continue doing that this year, purely because I don't mind DNFing. I sometimes don't like admitting I've DNF'd a book that's very popular. I've read a couple of books and I DNF'd, but they're not really, to me, very popular. But for example, The Night Circus by Erin Robinson, it was our buddy read, me and Lucy's buddy read on last month in December, and it's not for me. I don't know whether it's just I'm not in the right frame of mood for it or what, but I just got very confused. I wasn't gelling with the characters, and I just didn't feel it was as good as what The Starless Sea was for me. So I have softly DNF'd that one. But yeah, I just want to continue DNFing but not feeling guilty for DNFing, especially if it's a really, really popular book and people love it, and I'm like, oh, actually I didn't. Like, for me, you know, there's nothing wrong to say that you DNF'd it. Doesn't mean that I'm not saying to you guys not to ever pick it up or read it. It's just saying it wasn't for me, but you give it a go. You might like it. If you don't, at least you tried. Like when I do DNF books, you know, it isn't my way of saying to you don't ever read it. You know, you have your own likes and dislikes. You know, it wasn't for me, it might be for you. You know, always give it a try. My book recommendation reviews is never to say never pick it up. It's, you know, if it sounds like your jam, try it. Another goal is basically I want to read more of the books that I physically own, and also read what's on my Kindle shelves. So what I mean by Kindle shelves particularly is the books that I already got on my Kindle that I bought or downloaded or whatever. I want to read them rather than buying a new Kindle book or getting another book from Kindle Unlimited per se. I want to read what's on my Kindle shelves first before I do any of that, and I want to read more of what I own rather than actually, you know, try and read something that's maybe come out like this year or whatever, if that makes sense. I just want to try and go through my books that are on my shelves because I've got so many, and I tend to not really be touching some of my older books and more so just reading books that have just been newly released or something like that. So I just want to start reading what I own and, like, you know, reading books that I've had on my shelves for a while rather than going, oh, I just got this new release, or this was like released a couple of months ago. You know what I mean? Also, alongside that, on my bookshelves, you won't know, but I know, I do have a few shelves and books that are on a time limit. So basically, last year, so the end of 2022, I did like a massive big unhaul, and I kept a couple of books because I was still like, oh, like, I don't know. And I keep doing that, like every year I keep doing it. So this year, if I have not touched any of the books that are on that sort of time limit, then by the end of 2023, I will be unhauling them regardless. They are going. I'm not going to make any more excuses. So, yeah, we have a few bookshelves that have got some books on there that I keep thinking, oh, but then I never do it because I'm like, oh, whatever. So they have a time limit. So if I don't read them in the next 12 months, they are going. I am holding myself accountable in this video. So yeah, but I know which ones they are. Primarily, they're the ones that you can't see. They're like the bookshelves at the bottom and stuff like that. Like, they're at the bottom, so no one can see because they're the ones I don't really care about. It sounds really bad. So that's a plan. Another one is not buying books. Sort of did this last year because obviously with Maisie the puppy and all that, I want to do it this year because I kind of have to pay. I'm on a payment plan for my new laptop, so you know I need to make sure I have money to pay that off each month. So I do have pre-orders, and I'm not going to not do pre-orders. I do have some pre-orders that, you know, I've done a while back that come out now, or, you know, a lot of my pre-orders all got cancelled because they just never came. But anyway, but it doesn't count pre-orders because, you know, there are some books that are by authors that I love. If they got new books out, I am going to buy them. But in hindsight, but it's not that, you know, if someone does a book recommendation on YouTube and I'm like, well, that sounds really good, I'm not going to automatically buy it. However, if it does sound good, I will mainly look to see if my library have it or if I can request it in and go from there. So like library ones are fine, you know, I'm borrowing the book rather than buying it. But in hindsight, I'm not going to be buying any books from Amazon or anything like that. If I do get given money or a gift card or something down the line, and yeah, that's fine. The same as I have the stamps for Waterstone. If I've got my 10 stamps, it means I can buy £10, then I would do that, but I'm not buying it with my money per se. The same as, like, you know, I'm not going to not have books gifted to me, but my own money, I'm not outwardly going to be like, oh, that book sounds good, I'm going to go and buy it. We're not doing that. And so sort of coincide with reading more of my physical books, I want to at least try and empty 2 shelves. So if I've read all of these books, for example, on these 2 shelves, that would be brilliant. I want to do that because then I have 2 full shelves that I could then potentially reward myself and buy new books when I want to. So I kind of feel like if I've emptied 2 bookshelves by, like, you know, by 6 months, then once they're all empty and I've unhauled them or decided to keep some or what, you know, so if I do keep them, then I won't buy any more books. But if I've unhauled all of them, per se, then, you know, I then have that reward of I can buy myself some new books to fill up those shelves by the end of this year, sort of thing. But I want to primarily empty 2 shelves completely, so I can then move books around because I have a lot of books that are on the floor, and also, you know, in that sense, getting rid of books, I can have room to buy books. So it's sort of if I do that, it's a little bit of a reward at the end of the year sort of thing. So they're sort of like the reading goals. My reading plans, I am not really going to bother doing set TBRs anymore, purely because I just do not know how much I'm going to be reading in regards to uni. Like, I obviously have my set uni books that I need to read, I have my set exercise books I need to read, so I don't want to say I want to read these 5 books for that month, because I have no idea if I can do that, and also I don't want to say I want to read those 5 books and I might not be in a mood for them at the moment. I am just a massive big mood reader. However, I am still going to do my buddy reads with Lucy. This month's buddy read, which thankfully I actually have here, we are going to be reading The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. So I will still be doing my monthly buddy reads with Lucy, because I like doing it, and primarily, even if I just read that one book that month, it's still on target to the 40 books I want. So yeah, I'm not going to do like a set TBR. I'm just going to mood read. However, I will still be doing like wrap up videos. So by the end of the month, I'll be like, right, I've read this, this and that, or I've just read this. So we have that. So I'm not doing a TBR, but I will do by the end of the month, just tell you what I have read and all of that. I will be trying my hardest to do both reading vlogs. You know, if I've got like a weekend to myself, I don't know, if I have a weekend to myself and I'm and I have time to kill, and I don't, you know, I'm quite ahead of my uni stuff and things like that, you know, I might dedicate a reading vlog now and then on a weekend and just read a couple of books and just do a proper set reading vlog. But I would like to do that. It also depends if I've got the time on that. Even if I can just do it like for one weekend, like that would be quite nice, but we'll see. But I would like to do a reading vlog now and then if I can. But I am going to do more life vlogs. So my channel, as you will probably see, I've got a new name and I've got like new sort of graphics and things like that. This is going to not be just a booktube channel, it's just going to be a normal YouTube channel. So yes, I'm going to be doing about my books and reading and things like that. But I'm also going to incorporate my studying and just like certain things in life as well. It's just more like a bit more of a personal insight to my life. And also, you know, I am doing a big thing with my studying, and I feel like if I document it, it will, you know, it will hold me accountable to make sure I set things on what I need to do, make sure I hit that target, blah, blah, blah. So it's just my way of documenting everything, but also, you know, right, I said that I need to do this. I said it to you guys, I need to do it. I don't want to let anyone down. I don't want to let me down and all that. But also, I feel like if I make it a bit more of a general YouTube channel rather than just a specific topic, it would just be easier for me in regards to thinking of content ideas. Because at the moment with my reading, like with my booktube, like just doing it primarily all to do with my books, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing constantly. I'm doing reading vlogs, I'm doing TBRs and wrap-ups, I'm doing unboxings, you know, I'm sometimes doing reading vlogs and sometimes taking part in readathons and documenting that, but I just feel like I'm doing the same. But I don't have like the full, you know, I don't have as much oomph as what other creators do on booktube. You know, it's a little bit difficult. I don't have much in my town, and I also live at home with my parents, and I have Alice, so I can't do as much as I'd like to because of certain reasons. I feel like if I just generally make it more generalised and not have it in a set topic, I've got more content ideas. So I could be like, right, I'm studying today, I'm going to take you with me on what a study day looks like, that kind of things, rather than thinking, oh, I need to do this just for my reading. I just feel like for me, it will just make it a bit more fun because I'm not enjoying it so much. And also, you know, not feel bad that I don't have always different content in regards to my reading. This time around, it will be like, you know, you have like might be like a day in a life. You might just have like a set study video. You might have like a video of me reading. You might have a video with me just having a general day, full day with my daughter and things like that. Like it won't be like too personal. You know, I'm not going to go in and like show everything that I do with my family sort of things, but just a little bit. So yeah, that's sort of that sort of generalized plan of my YouTube channel, and obviously I've got a different name and different graphics. I just feel like for me it would just be a bit more fun because at the moment I'm just like struggling to find something different in regards to my booktube. and just comparing myself to other booktubers, thinking, well, I'm never going to be like that and blah blah blah. Whereas I think if I just make it more generalized, I will enjoy it more. And for me, this is more of a hobby rather than anything else. Yeah, so that's sort of that. Obviously, another like sort of plan is to at least try and read at bedtime. So I probably, in regards to like uni, I will be studying during the day, especially on the time frame when Alice is at school. And then when she's home, like I'll obviously be doing my mum stuff and just spending time with her. So in the evenings, I want to try and just read in the evenings. My evenings sometimes can be that I do sometimes read in the evenings. Sometimes I might just get completely sidetracked and watch something or watch loads of crap on YouTube or scroll through TikTok and all that. But for me, I'd like to read at bed because it actually does help me get to sleep better rather than when I'm on my phone or watching something. I just feel like it doesn't make me so sleepy. So yeah, I would like to try and even if it's even if I did like a designated like from 9 to 11 or like from 10 to 11 just before I go to sleep, read a little bit for an hour, and and then the times before watch TV or YouTube, whatever. That might be a plan, but like for me, I'm quite happy to just like get us to bed and then sit and read. So I would like to do that, but obviously I'm not also going to turn around to you and say that I'm never going to watch anything because mental health. We would like to do other things than just that. But yeah, I would like to just, even if it's just an hour at night, I'd rather it was not just an hour at night, but purely because I need to unwind still. I don't want to be in full on like uni mode and that. I need to also make time for myself and unwind, and that's something I've seen a lot on people's like study vlogs and that to say. You need to also make sure you've got your own time. It's not just for the studying and yeah. So that's that. I have been oohing and ahhing about setting like a proper video upload days. It's more for accountability for me because I'm someone who I will do a video or a few videos and I won't want to edit it on a day because I just feel a bit like I need to get out of doing all of that. So I tend to be like, I'll do it the following day. And then I get to it and I'm not in the mood and then I push it back and push it back. I've had about 10 videos in the last like couple of months where I've completely scratched because I couldn't be bothered to edit, and it's taking me so long to do it. And when I decide to, I've like got so much and I'm like, no. So I kind of feel like if I have set upload days, then it's sort of right, I've done this video, I need to make sure this video is up on Monday or Friday or whatever. I haven't decided what set days to do because I'm trying to work out like what days would be good for me, and also sort of like, I tend to try and like, my bit is I also need to make the time that I have when I don't have Alice is to study. So yeah, I'm sort of trying to work out what days would work well, or whether I don't actually set a day and maybe just be like, I will post 1 or 2 videos during a week and just, I don't know. I haven't quite decided. Like, I feel like if I have like an upload schedule and tell you that, it might make me actually think, right, I've told them I'm going to have videos upload on Monday and Friday. I need to do it. But I don't know yet. Like, if I make the plan and I have decided days, then you will know. If not, then I don't know. But I would like to. It's just trying to work out how it will work. I think maybe see how I get on with my uni at first and just get into that routine of what works, and then that might be the better plan, but we'll see. But yeah, I would like to. Also, in regards to videos, with me saying this is more going to be not just books, this is going to be like sort of a normal YouTube channel, I suppose. I do want to, and I've been thinking about doing it for a while, but I do want to do more videos talking about my disease. I have got a immune disease, and it's quite, I want to say it's I don't think it's well known, but it is quite a popular disease where I think a lot of people do have it. It's just with what is wrong with the disease, it's very, you don't talk about it because it's quite a taboo subject sort of thing. But I wanted to talk about it because also, it's part of me, and I just feel like this channel, I want to raise awareness for it as well. Like I do it on my social medias now and then, specifically when I'm not well, but I kind of feel like actually raising awareness on here would be good, because I do also want to incorporate mental health. I have and I am making my mental health a priority this year. Not so much as going to have therapy. I'm just not in that space yet to go there. Like I'm not saying I'm coping, but the mechanisms I'm doing, I'm reasonably coping. For me, I want to actually, I don't want to be shying away from having bad days. Like when I have bad days, I tend to not vlog, and I'm thinking actually there's nothing wrong with me vlogging. Like if I'm in the middle of a vlog, I might have had a good day the day before. When I start the vlog on the following day, I'm like really struggling with emotions or whatever, and I won't vlog, and then I'll leave it and then until I'm better. And I don't like that, because I feel like what's wrong with me actually sharing. And I have a feeling that with my studying, I am going to have those moments where I'm thinking, oh my god, am I doing it right and all that. And I know when I'm vlogging that, I don't want to shy away from that. So I feel like being more open about my mental health and how, what mental health I struggle with. I'm not obviously going to go through like the reasons why I have this, but I might share a few things that lead up to it. But I just feel like talking about my mental health and sharing the days where I'm struggling with it, that's fine. We're all talking about saying it's okay not to be okay. We're all saying for men to show their emotions and not hide it. And, so yeah, I want to just talk a bit more about, make awareness about my disease and talk a bit more about my mental health and just being more honest. And I feel like because of what the other content I'm showing in regards to studying and my life in general, I feel like if I share that, if I'm having a day where I'm an absolute crying mess, it's fine. So yeah, I'd like to do that. A sort of a goal, but not a set goal, because I would love to just hit 500 subscribers. Sorry, I'm on 300 and something. I don't know what. But I'd love to just hit 500 subs. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to get loads and loads of subscribers. I didn't do my channel for that. I did it more because I felt it was a better platform to talk loads about books and stuff. And the same with like my social medias, like in all different, like my more so my Instagram. I'm not bothered by followers. I lost a lot of followers on my Bookstagram when I made it back into both Bookstagram and Life. I lost loads, and before I would have been so disheartened, but I'm like, well, I don't care. And I just, for me, I'm like, I'd love to, but it's also not, it's not something I care. Like I am quite happy doing what I'm doing. It's just for me as a hobby and liking to do, and if people enjoy it, people enjoy it. If I get more subscribers, that would be fantastic. It's just for me more than anything. It's just for me, and it's something nice to look back on later down in life, and also something nice for like Alice to see and stuff like that. So yeah. So I think that so sort of other sort of like things I would, in regards to reading, I would love to try and finish series I've started, or duologies or something like that. I would love to. I've got Throne of Glass that I am still needing to finish. I've got some other duologies and other series that I've started and not finished. Like I would love to do that, but again, it's also depending on my mood. If I might be in the mood of just reading standalone books and stuff like that. But it would be nice to make a dent into some of the series that I've started and to finish it and all that. But again, it's not something set. It's just sort of I'd like to. We'll see. What else? I've got a little list. Oh yeah. This I want to sort of, for my uni stuff, I know I'm going to have to annotate and tab important things and all that, but I'm not very good at it. So I want to sort of get myself into a routine of doing it, and like in like the method that I like, because I know I'm going to need to do it for uni. So I kind of are like wanting to implement it into my reading, just to make it more like a habit. So it's not, I get into habit of doing it in various different forms, rather than, you know what I mean? Like at the moment, it's not something I do often. I might do it in my favourite books. I did it with A Court of Silver Flames that I recently read. I tabbed it. It was a reread, so I tabbed it before, and there was no, it was just tabs, different tabs. So when I reread it, I got rid of them and actually had a system, and it worked until I ran out of the tabs. And I didn't have any other tabs because they were like the remaining ones before I bought new ones. But with the money I got given for the books, I ended up buying proper like smart highlighters that people go on about, and I bought like these tabs that actually match the colours. So that's like for my reading, just to, not in all of my books, but like books that maybe it's by my favourite author, tab, but I need to get into that method, into that routine, because I know it's going to be really useful for my uni stuff. I also, for reading, I would like to keep a reading log. I would love to keep a reading journal, but I know full well from trying to do it last year and the year before, I just don't stick to it, and it is a lot of effort. Like, I did have a look, and to actually have a reading journal that was already made, someone that made it up, and I saw one and it was on Etsy, and I wish I got it when I saw it, when I had the money, because I left it to do it for, because I knew I was getting money for birthday Christmas. I left it thinking I'll do it because I know it'd be in sale and stuff. It's all out of stock, and I'm bummed out because it would have been the perfect reading journal. It was all done for me, I just had to fill it out. However, I do have 2 different types of reading review logs, and primarily that's what I want it for. I want to jot down all the books I've read and my review of it, because when I do my wrap-ups, by the time I do it, depending on how good a month I've read or not, sometimes I can't remember what the books I've read, and so I have to go back on Storygraph or Goodreads, more Storygraph because that's what I use more, and I have to go through it all and do the star rating. But I tend to not really write reviews on there. I just put my star rating. So when I do my wrap-up, most of the time I've forgotten the character's name and I can't fully remember what happened. So I feel like if I've written it down, I can look back on and like for the end of the year sort of thing and stuff. But B, also when I do my wrap-ups, I've got it all there written down. I can refresh my mind, and it's easier to talk to you about it rather than being like, I can't remember the character's name and having to edit it or completely forgetting and all that. So I feel like it's just a bit of an easier thing for me when it comes to my wrap-ups. But also it's quite nice to have it physically there, because I just never bother doing it on Storygraph and all that. So I would like to keep a little reading log. I think it would just be a little bit easier for me, and also get into the constant routine of doing that, because I wouldn't mind doing some mental health journaling. I want to do 1 sentence a day or 1 line a day for this year. However, I already started because I haven't done anything for January, so I'm going to try and start doing it in February. But yeah, but that's that. Let me just go and double check I've said everything. I think I have. Yeah, and another like sort of goal plan thing is more uni related, so I want to make sure that I prioritise my uni books. I have 3 books that I was showing here because they were gifted to me, but I have 3 books that I had to buy. They're not like your exercise books, they're set books. There are 3 books that they're the most important. They're the most important for this year for my uni, so they take priority before any other books. And I want to make sure I prioritise them, and I understand them and everything like that. And also with my uni, I want to make sure that I stay on top of things. Like, yes, there might be days where I'm poorly and I can't do anything, and that's fine. But if I can, I want to stay on top of things. I want to try and maybe get a little bit ahead, especially when it comes to assignments. Like, I've got my first assignment in February, and I just want to make sure that I don't leave anything to the last minute. I want to make sure that I can update it, even if it's the day before. I'd rather do it the day before than, like an hour before it is, just in case anything crashes or anything. Like, if I do it the day before it's meant to be due, it's just a bit more calmer. So I just want to make sure I'm up to date, I'm not behind, or if I am behind, to make sure I have that time to catch up. But also another thing is I want to, like I am at the moment, making sure I am up, I'm getting dressed, I'm taking Alice to school, then I've got all of the day to myself. Sometimes, if I'm having a really bad night's sleep, I get my mum to do it, and I don't want to do that because I'm then messing up the routine. Like, obviously, if I'm at the moment I'm healthy enough with my disease, but if I'm having a flare of it, that is going to change things. But things like if I'm just tired, then no, I'm just going to have to push myself through, give myself more coffee. Things, if I've got a headache, just take some tablets, not let it control me. There's certain things that are out of my line, and if I need to deal with that, I need to deal with it. I just want to make myself get up, and then my day starts. Because once I was in school, by 9 o'clock I'm done. 9 o'clock I'm sorted, I can get on to doing my stuff. So yeah, I just want to make sure that. I also want to make sure that I've set breaks. So for me, I will have a break at like 11, whether it's just to stretch my legs or to just do like a 30-minute reading or 30-minute journaling or something like that. I want to also, it sounds stupid, but I want to set a time each day for when I have my lunch, because I know full well I'm going to work through it. That's how I am. So if I you know, I am someone that doesn't plan or organize, but I want to make sure I have like things. So yeah, I want to make sure that this year I have routine, because if I stick to the routine and I get used to that routine, it's going to become more natural. So yeah, I want to just sort of give myself that push, just make sure that I get up and be present in the morning. Then I've got all day to do my studying. Make sure I have breaks in there. Just yeah, and like another thing is to listen to my mental health. You know, not so much my body and illness, but listen to how I'm feeling. I have made the decision to change my medicine in regards to my mental health, and I'm on new tablets, and I have noticed they've been working. I'm a lot calmer. I'm a lot more calmer, so I think we've found something that's working for me now, which is brilliant. But yeah, I just want to keep in tune to it. You know, if I'm having a really that off day, then it's one of those things of, right, what can I do to make myself feel better and stuff like that. Like, I want to acknowledge it, not sort of be like, oh, it's there, and like, you know, push through. I'm ignoring it. I don't. I want to sort of acknowledge it and be like, right, what can I do to help? What can I do to change it? Things like that, rather than ignoring it, and sometimes it festers. But yeah, there's sort of that. Obviously make more memories and things like that. 2023, just, it's kind of all about me than anything else. You know, I am doing uni, I'm working into a degree to do something, a career that I will love, and you know, it will get me, you know, it's a career that I love. It will also give me the money, and then, like, you know, I can work towards getting a good place for me and Alice, and working towards actually having a life that isn't just a mum, because at the moment it's just mum Amy with a disease. That's it. I want, you know, I'm at that bit where, like, come on, my disease is all right at the moment. It's not controlling me. I need to do stuff for me. You know, I'm not just mum Amy. I am Amy. So yeah, this year it's sort of all about me. But yeah, so they're like the goals, the plans, what to expect from my channel and that. And now we're just going to quickly go on to the books that I got gifted, the books that I bought with money, and that's it, actually. Won't lie, my coffee's a little bit cold, but we're moving on. So first things first, because they're at the top, these are the 3 set books for uni. So I've got Antigone, I have A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Books by Charles Dickens, and then I have The Favourite Book of Beasts. So these are my set books for uni. You don't even know what I'm doing degree wise, but you can probably guess. Apart from Antigone, which I bought, well, I say I bought, I had £10 to spend from Waterstones, so I use that because it's the tiniest book and it's most expensive. So I bought that, but my mum and dad bought me these for Christmas. So these are my set books for uni, and they're the ones that really take priority. And then these are the books that either were gifted or I bought with the money that I got given for my birthday and Christmas. She needs to grab the stack. So technically I got given £15 Amazon voucher from my grandparents. So I bought two books from that, and then my grandma gave me £50. So I used that £50 on books. I also bought the tabs and highlighters with it. So I'll tell you which ones were like from that. So the ones that I'm about to talk to you. So this one was with the money I got given. I'll just tell you the ones that got gifted to me. It's easier. I got Never World Wake by Marisha Pestle. Most of these are from my wish list, and I've gone through the whole of my wish list, deleted some that I've already owned or read or don't want anymore. But I've had this on my wish list for ages, and I was like, why haven't I got it? But it sounded really good. It's like, it's like a thriller. It's like a thriller, but it's also about like time backbends and all that. It's like little bit of like a sci-fi thriller sort of thing. I don't want to go into like the synopsis because we'll be here forever, but it's like a bit of a sci-fi thriller going on in this. It sounded really good, and I was like, oh, that sounds good, and it was quite a good price. I got Dark Things I Adore by Katie Latari. To be honest, I've either gone for like thrillers or YA fantasy. That's kind of the theme. But Dark Things I Adore by Katie Latari, you've got that. This is the book I've wanted to buy for ages, but I was like, I'm not buying it. This is the book I got with part of my Amazon gift card from my nan. So I got A Cruel and Fated Light by Ashley Shuttleworth, which is the second book from A Dark and Hollow Star. Not gonna lie, can't remember what happened in the first book, so I need to like remember. But this is the second book, and I've been really wanting to find out what happens. I'm not sure whether it's a series or whether it is just a duology. We'll see when I read it, but yeah, I wanted to know what happens because I thoroughly enjoyed the first book. The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This was with my grandma's money. Again, this book's something I wanted to buy for ages, but again, was like, nope, we're in a book buying ban. We've got Forest of Souls by Laurie Emily. I was going to delete it off my wish list because I was like, oh no, but actually when I read what it was about, and it was about soul guides and like it has more of like a dark fantasy vibe to it, rather than your typical fantasy. And I do like, I don't know, it was something about this. It just sounded quite me at the minute. So yeah, I'd like to see whether I made a good decision. I got Five Survive by Holly Jackson, which I did pre-order, and then it didn't happen. I cancelled it. So this was the remaining £50 voucher I got from my grandparents. So this is the author from who did A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that series. I still need to finish the last book. But this is her new one, like outside the series. It's not got the best reviews though. A lot of people said it's not. But I'm ignoring it. And when we get to it, we're gonna ignore the reviews, and yeah, but that's, yeah. I got Daisy Darker by Alice Sweeney. I love this author. I've read all of her books bar Rock, Paper, Scissors. I own that. I haven't read it yet, so I want to read that before I read that because I have read them in order in regards to her books. But this is her newest release. I think she's got a new one out this year. I'm sure I've seen something about her. I can't remember. But yeah, finally got that because, again, I didn't pre-order it because I completely forgot. This is a pre-order. I completely forgot about it. But I got The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. So this is returning to like the world of Elfame, like in the first book, but like we've got like a different characters. This is a duology. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read the Cruel Prince series yet. Also, not gonna lie, I did start reading Cruel Prince and I wasn't vibing with it. So I completely forgot about this pre-order. If I remembered it, I probably would have cancelled it. But this is probably giving me the push to read the series just because, you know, but I'm not vibing with the characters at the minute. But yeah. And then lastly, this is what I actually bought with my own money. It's Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before by Dr. Julie Smith. Everyday Tools for Life's Ups and Downs. I saw this on like TikTok and stuff like that, and I was like, ooh. But then I saw it in my local supermarket, and when I read about it, I thought, actually, it sounds good. So all of like the tools in this book is what they use when you actually go to therapy yourself. And yeah, I just felt actually, instead of like going through the therapy and all of that and opening old wounds that I'm not ready to open, I feel like doing a self-help book that has those tools, I can do it my own way. And also from what I've seen on TikTok and what I've like gleaned off this, it's not a lot to process. Like you've got chapters of like why you know, for example, understanding low mood. So like, you know, understanding low mood, and it gives you, so it's sort of understanding all this, and then it gives you from that, you know, mood pitfalls to watch out for, things that help. But like in the end of each thing, you've got little like about a couple of like tasks to try to do, and you don't have to do all of them, you can just choose one. But I quite like that, and I thought this would be a good one, you know, if I am really, really struggling, like if I'm having a really bad day. I feel like just going into it, like, you know, if I'm having a really emotional day, like anxiety, let's see, is there anything on stress. Is stress different from, you know, if I'm having a stressful day, or if I'm having a self-doubt day, or okay, this one, part 6 on fear, so make anxiety disappear. So I am more of an anxious person, so if I'm having a really bad anxiety day, I think that would be quite good to just read and, you know, look at some of the tools to try and implement it to help. So I think this would be quite a good one, and it kind of drew me in because I just love the fact that it's got like a little bit of a rainbow, and it's rainbow there. But yeah, they're the books that I got. I also got given A Light in the Flame, which is what I got gifted on my birthday, but it's over there. And also Queen of Myth and Monsters, I was kindly gifted, and Blood Marks. So Blood Marks and Queen of Myth and Monsters was what Lucy gifted me, and then she got me A Light in the Flame by Jennifer L. Armstrong. She gifted me, and then my best friend gave me the Harriet Tyson's new book, Something Midnight, is over there because they're like the 4 books I'm hoping to read. But yeah, so I got Bloodmarked, Queen of Myth and Monsters, and The Light and the Flame by Lucy, and then my best friend got me the new Harriet Tyson book. So they're the books that got gifted to me. But yeah, that's the plan of 2023. I hope you enjoy the new changes, and you don't mind the new changes. And yeah, please let me know if you have any studying tips. I don't start properly until the 23rd of January, so I've got a little bit of time, but do let me know if you have any study tips, like anything at all, because I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.